If you're new to this process, my name is Oli. I'm one of the co-founders of CIT Clinics, and I'm here every day at noon just for 15 minutes, running these 15 minutes of positivity groups. And the idea is that we all get together on a daily basis and just hit the pause button and say, okay, let's retrain our brain. Let's activate those parts of ourselves that have been shown to help us in the long run. You know, the more we are what we repeatedly do. And so if we practice these skills that we practice here on an ongoing basis, it quite literally changes the structure and function of our brain and our mind and makes a lot of things in life easier. So short and sweet. Today's theme, since it's Tuesday, I like doing attention training Tuesdays. Yesterday we did a mindfulness practice and we differentiated between, mindfulness and meditation. So they're both can be used as nouns as well as verbs. And so today this is related to that, but we're going to talk about different types of attention. And then we're going to actually do a practice where we activate or train those types of attention to become more acquainted with them and make it a little easier. So what are the types of attention? The first one that most of us think about is what's labeled sustained attention. So this guy reading a book, right? This is about goal setting. This is about saying, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this task or engage in this behavior. And I'm going to do it over I'm going to sustain this attention over a period of time. That's a pretty typical idea of what constitutes attention. And then there's nuances. So this one here, for example, it's a great picture for what we would call selective attention, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and yet the only thing that's actually in focus is this woman standing in the middle of the crowd. So a great example of this is going to a party and you're in the midst of lots of people and they're all talking, having different conversations, different subject matter. It's loud, it's a little bit overwhelming, and yet there you are interacting with a person or two and having a very specific conversation with them about a specific topic. That requires our brain's ability for selective attention. It can focus on one thing at the exclusion of others. Alternating attention. Those of you that are parents have probably experienced this many times. So I'm projecting, this situation on this mother. I'm imagining she's on hold with customer service at her bank while she's trying to figure out, logging in to the website to get into the bank. The password's probably not working. Meanwhile, her 4-year-old has some form of homework and her 2-year-old just wants her attention. So her ability to manage this whole situation requires what we call alternating attention. So she can, switch from, yes, customer service, I'm listening to you, to no, sweetie, the eraser is over here, or, try X, Y, and Z. Then there's another kind of attention that we're all very used to, divided attention. So while there's a bit of a myth around multitasking, it is possible to divide our attention with certain types of tasks. So for example, it is possible to be driving a car and to be changing the volume on the radio and to be paying attention to both of those activities more or less competently at the same time. Now, obviously, the more we add in there, if we add texting and we add phone calls, and before you know it, our attention is so diluted that it actually just gets downright dangerous. But there is such a thing as divided attention with certain types of tasks like this. And then last but not least, there's this idea of executive attention. Again, this is where I sit down and I say, you know what, I'm going to, for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to work on this spreadsheet. I'm just going to really focus on trying to solve this problem or, accomplish this goal. And our ability to I think, navigate our day to day, bouncing around these different forms of attention, and to some extent, maybe even intellectually or experientially grasping that there are different types of attention and knowing which type of attention we are currently activating. It's pretty helpful. And the cool thing is we can actually train it. So I was thinking today we would practice bouncing around some of these different forms of attention. So let's start by just closing our eyes, as we always do in these meditations. Start by using your executive attention to set the goal to say, okay, for the next 7 to 8 minutes, I'm going to choose to try this, to try really steep myself in this process of noticing and feeling and experiencing the nuances of these different types of attention. So setting an intention for flavoring different types of attention. And that part of us that can set goals and have these sort of directive tasks, again, this is our executive attention, the part of our brain that drives that. And then go ahead and put your feet flat on the ground. Notice the sensation of contact to the ground. If you put your palms flat on your thighs, notice the heat transfer between the palms of your hands and your thighs. Wiggle your fingers. And then bring your attention to your belly and your breath. So this is an example of alternating attention. Just notice what it's like to focus your attention on your feet, in contact with the ground. Wiggle your toes to bring yet more attention there. And relax your feet. Let them rest. And then focus your attention on the palms of your hands in contact with your thighs. And then again, shifting your attention to your belly and noticing the sensation of breath, inhaling and exhaling. And as we've alternated from our feet to our hands to our belly, we've now landed in the realm of what we would call selective attention. And so, at the exclusion of other sensations captivating your attention, see if you can hold your attention on the sensation of breath in your belly. Noticing each in-breath, the expansion of your belly, the pause, and then your belly deflating with the out-breath. And all the while being conscious of the fact that in order to just focus on the in-breath, your belly, the pause, and the out-breath, pause, in order to be really present for that experience, some extent, it means that you're actually not paying attention to your feet or your hands. It's just about the belly right now. So it's very selective. The mind has a tendency to wander. So when that happens, just keep bringing your attention back to your belly. And now we're going to shift from this selective style of attention, meaning exclusively the belly. We're going to move to alternating attention. So we're going to shift from the belly back to the hands. If you want, you can wiggle your fingers a little bit, tap your fingers on your thighs. And then just let your hands rest on your thighs, noticing the warmth, the sensation. And then shifting down to your feet, and wiggle your toes. Noticing the sensation of your feet on the ground. And then jumping back up to your belly. Belly still breathing. It's all happening. It's just a question of where we focused on. And noticing the expansion and contraction of your belly with each in-breath and out-breath. Keeping your attention there. And now see if you can wiggle your toes at the same time. This is divided attention, just noticing simultaneous experience of breathing or breath in your belly and your toes wiggling. They're both happening at the same time. There's a very different quality to this kind of attention. It's divided attention. I'm just noticing what it feels like to notice your feet and your toes, your belly and your breath, both at the same time. And then switching gears and taking a deep breath in. Long exhale. Focusing on the exhale exclusively. Take another deep breath in. On the exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. And come on back to the room. We're out of time. I could have probably kept doing this for another 10 or 15 minutes, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of an example of, there's so many different ways in which our brain processes attention. And we're using different forms of this throughout the day. And to some extent, the question is, are we aware of it? So that's where the mindfulness piece that we practiced yesterday comes in. Yeah, and then consciously using these different forms of attention to our advantage. When you're driving a car, you probably need more divided attention. When you're having a big conversation with a friend or a loved one, probably that really focused, selective attention is important. Anyway, lots of different ways to use this. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, same time, same place, and have a great day, everyone.